Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are wondering, that is Japhet Nyakundi, who is one of the closest associates of President William Ruto in the Gusi region. And of course, actually, as we speak today, is the current treasurer of the UDA party. And of course, the other gentleman, it is Anthony Kibagendi, one of the closest allies of Dr. Ruto and Matiangi from the Gusi region. Now, Japhet Nyakundi, they are neighbors with Anthony Kibagendi, where one is an MP of Kitutu Chache North, that is Japhet Nyakundi, and then Anthony Kibagendi is the member of parliament for the Kitutu Chache South.
We were hoodwinked as a community and as a nation to elect a president who is a liar, a president who has messed up our education.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me take you back slightly before 2022. There was this gentleman by the name Simba Arati and Silvana Sosoro. Simba Arati was a very close associate of, up to now actually, of Raila Amolo Odinga. And of course, Silvana Sosoro also very close to William Ruto. So by then from the Gusi region, Simba Arati had just left Nairobi. So he was in the Gusi region also campaigning to become a governor, at the same time campaigning for the Azimio team, especially Raila Amolo Odinga. So the two, that's Silvana Sosoro and Simba Arati, were serious rivals. And there's one thing that is common between Silvana Sosoro and Simba Arati group, and that one of Japhet Nyakundi and Anthony Kibagendi. They are both youthful leaders. So this one for Simba Arati, while in Gusi, there was a funeral at, I think, Matiangi lost one of his parents. Matiangi was there by then, a deputy governor of Kisii County. And then this function, Raila Amolo Odinga was present, and also William Ruto attended the funeral. Ladies and gentlemen, by then William Ruto was the deputy president. So speeches were made, and by the time Simba Arati came to speak on the podium, he started already the crowd was boiled. Simba Arati was seriously emotional, and he attacked William Ruto and told him that he had to apologize to the people of Gusi region for what happened in 2007.
Kaa Osoro, kaa chini. Kaa chini. Kaa hiyo biashara naijua mzuri bwana. Wewe wacha. Kaa chini. Wewe wacha. Kwa hivyo nataka kusema hii biashara.
Then Silvana Sosoro, who was just seated next to Simba Arati, next to William Ruto, jumped very fast. He caught Simba Arati's shirt, and they were seriously on a physical fight. They had a physical confrontation. Now, I remember this incident when I saw Japhet Nyakundi also engage in a physical confrontation with Anthony Kibagendi. And from these two occasions, based on what happened by then and now, I'm able to borrow a few things that are going to indicate are going to be serious indicators for 2027. That is what I want to look at here, the signs of this kind of event in relation to 2027. But before I do so, if this is the first time you're watching my videos at Mokwa Times, please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Ladies and gentlemen, when Simba Arati engaged Silvana Sosoro, it was a sign that the Gusi politics was almost 50-50. And in fact, in 2022, William Ruto, regardless of being a weak leader in the Gusi region, he got a huge number of votes because of this kind of indication because of this kind of engagement locally. And in fact, the Osoro team decided to, they managed to maintain Ruto's name within the Gusi region. From this kind of an incident that occurred at Kitutu Chache North, I can tell comfortably that William Ruto is again succeeding, is maintaining the ground, is maintaining the conversation about him from his leaders locally. And this is a very bad sign for Dr. Ruto and Matiangi. Ladies and gentlemen, the courage of Japhet Nyakundi to stop Anthony Kibagen from speaking anything against President William Ruto, instead of Anthony Kibagen stopping Japhet Nyakundi from speaking anything against Dr. Ruto and Matiangi, ladies and gentlemen, that indicates that the ground in the Gusi region, it's not good for Dr. Ruto and Matiangi. It needs to up his game now. In the Gusi region, there's a perception that will be created. And all of you guys have to remember that charity begins at home. We might understand what is happening locally and say Dr. Ruto and Matiangi has the people. But the perception that is created outside there is that the Gusi community is divided. And to give Dr. Ruto and Matiangi the strength to go and even negotiate for the flag bearer position within the opposition, we must prove loyalty and unity within the Gusi region. So this is not a bad sign. This is not a good sign for Dr. Ruto and Matiangi, but it's not a bad sign for William Ruto. William Ruto is maintaining his conversation at the grassroots. And these kind of confrontations will lead to people taking it no more, and eventually we are going to have actually some of the members of parliament elected in the UDA ticket. Ladies and gentlemen, if you check in William Ruto's camp, when he was vying in 2022, nobody could dare come out and vie with other party except the UDA within the Kalenjin land. I don't think there's any independent from there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a sign of a united community where nobody comes in with another party except that of the flag bearer. But now in the Gusi region, people are even stopping people from speaking against William Ruto. That's a clear indication that Dr. Ruto and Matiangi must be very serious with the Gusi region. Number two, Kisii politics will not be easy. That's the second sign I'm saying here. Kisii politics will not be easy. In 2027, it will be fire. People will really wrangle. William Ruto has young men and women from the Gusi region who are ready to face anyone to ensure at least he has gotten the seats from that region and he has divided the Gusi community. In a nutshell, it will be only for the strong to survive. Another thing that I was able to observe from this kind of a confrontation is that the youthful leadership in the Gusi region is becoming an issue, both from development all the way to conduct. If you look at someone like Zaire Janda, at the first times of when he became a member of parliament, he was taking rise here and there. If you check the times of Simba Arati when he was newly elected as a governor, goons all over in the Gusi region. And then counter from Silvanus Osoro, also with his people. So at that time, the Kisii politics was unbearable. People were literally killed. People died because of simply belonging to a certain faction within the Gusi region. It was not easy. So now, to an extent where also Japhet Nyakundi confronts physically Anthony Kibagen, it's a bad sign again that now we are losing the manners of politics. And in fact, it's a big question right now that do the young people really have the ability to lead the community? Because we didn't see this kind of things with Sam Ongeri. We didn't see this kind of things. We don't see them actually from people like Kokongo Mongeni. We don't see some of these things from Richard Onyonka. It's becoming a big issue within the Gusi community. Another thing I want to talk about here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. So it is very clear that Dr. Ruto and Matiangi must up his game. If he will not be very careful locally, he will be humiliated. More especially if he does not become the flag bearer in the opposition. Dr. Ruto and Matiangi will be seriously humiliated in the Gusi region. Because Silvanus Osoro, they don't just do politics in Kisii County. They have even crossed to deal with the governor of Nyamira County who did not go to State House. So in a nutshell, that's a bad sign for Dr. Ruto and Matiangi in that the people of William Ruto are more aggressive than his people. And that is not a good sign. I don't know what is your take, but in the comment section, share with me on what you think about this occurrence in Kisii region. My name is Abdul Mukwa. See you next time for more videos.